Welcome to Situational Awareness, a podcast brought to you by militarize.com. I'm your host Valentina Kuzik, and today we'll talk to Arūnas Kumpis, a Lithuanian who served in Ukrainian army. He'll talk about his experience, lessons learned from the battlefield in Ukraine, and his assessment of the current geopolitical situation. Welcome to the show, Arūnas. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for fighting for Ukraine. We know that you've been a volunteer for Ukrainian army. Can you tell us more about that? And before the full-scale invasion, had you served in the military or received any relevant training?
Yeah, before full invasion in Ukraine, I spent about 8 years in Lithuanian so-called home guard defense units, last 5 years in reconnaissance unit.
Is it a home guard the same as a Ukrainian territorial defense?
Something similar, yeah. It's like in United States, they have very similar home guard, yeah.
Uh-huh. But before that, as I know, because I was watching some of the interviews of you, that you were doing something completely different. Is that so? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's a new reality that even NATO countries and the preparation of soldiers are, to say, a little bit different, like it's in a real new war situation is, and NATO was fighting only with how to say unconventional armies, and to fight against enemy which is equal by possibilities, do not have such experience.
So before like joining this home guard territorial defense, you were like just an ordinary person working for the public service or having your business?
Yeah, I had business in IT sector, yeah, and but in 2014 when Maidan happened in Ukraine, I was thinking very strong about to join Ukraine, and I thought that it will be a big war. It's only a matter of time, and I decided to join some Lithuanian defense organization and to be prepared for what gonna happen.
And how did you initially imagine the war, and how did that compare to the reality you encountered at the battlefield in Ukraine?
Yeah, good question. The situation was that not standard for and not usual how you come and join units in Ukraine, because for me it was very fast. It took for me about 2 weeks to go to Ukraine, and the third day I was in the battlefield, and the second day I was under fire of artillery, and it was so stressful that it's difficult to imagine. And first time I spent maybe 2 weeks somewhere in unit near Kharkiv. We were in reconnaissance and sabotage unit, and after I left and came after maybe 3 weeks again, and I've been in mostly all most dangerous front lines, Kherson, Lysychansk, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, as well Pokrovsk. And talking about my specialties and military specialties, I was before the war I was reconnaissance specialist, but in Ukraine I had courses in Lviv, anti-tank missile operator. It means Stugna, Corsair, Javelin, and Stinger as well.
But when did you have the training? Did you have it in March 2022 or like much later? Because it seems that you came to Ukraine and you like immediately went to fight.
Yeah, I had it later. Yeah.
From what I understand, that you came to fight, and there was a completely different thing. You were not prepared for that, yeah?
Yeah, of course, and war was difficult. Different comparing what is now and what it was in the beginning of this. So then we are talking with my friends. We say that if we were fighting now in the same way how we were fighting in the beginning war, we would be dead 3 or 5 times.
Wow.
Because we're not experienced enough. Russians also was not experienced enough, and there were a lot of chaos and so on and so on.
So it's not only about using like different equipment on the battlefield, but also about the experience of soldiers on both sides.
Of course. Yeah? I can say by examples. For example, in reconnaissance units in Lithuania and the NATO countries as well, it's usual to make reconnaissance, to go behind the enemy line and to make observation post and looking for enemies. And in this war, all reconnaissance were doing by drones. And this is totally different comparing for what we were prepared. Yeah.
So we were talking with you a little bit before, but for our listeners, are you still actively serving today? And if so, in what capacity? And has your role changed over time in Ukraine since 2022?
Do you mean I'm serving now at this moment? No, I'm not serving now. Now I came to Lithuania and I'm working about to transfer my experience to Lithuanian defense organizations. I have some kind of lectures and working with organizations, defense organizations in Lithuania and civilians as well, how to react in such situations like war.
So you are not fighting for Ukraine since when?
Since autumn of last year. Yeah.
And that's very interesting because it seems like after the Munich conference, the latest one, like the perception of what might happen in Europe and maybe like Baltic countries, Poland and those close to Russia, that something might happen, and might happen soon. We talked with Dovilė Šakalienė, the Minister of National Defense of Lithuania, and she mentioned that Russia might be ready to attack. European countries in 2 years. Yeah, there are different estimations. Some experts say it's like 5 years, but what's your perception? And since you are working on preparedness of Lithuania, how you see it? Is Lithuania prepared? Are people prepared?
Let's say I'm very critical what are saying politicians. You know from your own experience when President Zelensky said that we will have parties in May in Kiev, and there are no threats, real war happens. And in Lithuania we have a very, very similar situation, and it's politicians say that everything is under control, we are completely prepared, our alliances will help us as well, and but then I see situation with real preparedness, and then you see what situation is with our alliances from United States, and I'm not so sure that we are prepared. And for me, it's too optimistic situation, and we should make more to be prepared in real. And
but what does it mean in technical terms? Let's say I was writing an article about how Lithuania is prepared, and I might say I would disagree with you in terms that Lithuania is doing it in the same way compared to Ukraine, because I think in Ukraine the situation was worse, at least how it looked like, you know, in media and on the ground. Like, we didn't have enough bomb shelters, they were not prepared. Also, like, of course, the people were not prepared for that kind of attack. But in Lithuania, you are testing the air raid sirens, and you are preparing the bomb shelters because they are everywhere, even like the signs of the bomb shelters, even like in older buildings. Yeah, so people are at least getting the information about the possible attack, and based on what happened in Ukraine, of course, they understand that might also happen in their place. In terms of military preparedness, is Lithuania buying enough equipment? What kind of equipment? Because I also hear a different thing, that the Ministry of Defense is still like buying all those like large vehicles, tanks, and think it's a good idea to, you know, invest in that, but paying less attention on this like modern equipment like drones. So do you have the same estimation, or you see it differently in terms of civil preparedness but also military?
Okay, you are very right. Just separate two preparedness: civilians preparedness and military preparedness. When we are talking about civilian preparedness, there is big difference between Lithuania and Ukraine. First of all, countries by the size. Ukraine, very big country, and you can evacuate your civilians behind the enemy line of front line. And in Lithuania, we have only 300 kilometers, and you don't have enough space where to evacuate your civilians. So you should have shelters from the bombing, and it can be a situation that you can't evacuate even to the west, because we have 100 kilometers gap with Poland, and just 2 routes by which we can evacuate our civilians. So situation is completely different. In Ukraine, you can just move 500 kilometers deep in country, and you will be more or less safe. In Lithuania, we can do this, and it's first. And when we are talking about military preparedness, for example, when I say from my friends in Ukraine that we have 1 or 2 prepared brigades, the reaction is, you are joking. You are going defend country with 1-2 brigade against 1,000 Russians. And our preparedness mostly is based on help of our alliances. And there's biggest contradiction then we are talking about this preparedness. It's I say that and I believe that it's a mistake to rely only on alliances, because something can happen, and if you rely only on alliances, it can be very, very dangerous situation. For example, Finns, they have about 1 million prepared reserve, and this approach, right approach, how to make defense effective. In Lithuania, we have about 50,000 reserve, and actually I'm not confident how it prepared and how many ammunition they have. So situation is not good, but it's only my opinion, like observer. Of course, I have inner information from units and so, but politicians say that everything is okay. You can relax and just work your usual works, and so situation.
So you don't
is
see
like
this. So what are you saying? You're lacking this like open communication about this threat.
Yeah.
Though I think I was a part of some of the military conferences, which are so many now. I mean, since Munich, it seems like every week there is a military conference in Europe. Yeah. So Lithuanian politicians are saying that, I mean, Dovilė Šakalienė, she said that produce as much as you can to the Lithuanian producers, and we will buy it. So it seems like they are instilling this sense of urgency, but maybe just among the stakeholders, not among the civilians. Is that what you're saying?
Politicians, they are talking exactly the same what civilians want to hear from them, because how it works, because they will be elected if they say what civilians wants to hear, but if they say that the situation is bad and so on, they will be not so attractive. It means which fault is that situation is not bad. Of course, fault is politicians which are on the ruling party, and on them depends. So they are talking about a lot of things, but we see that experience from Ukraine are not employed. in Ukraine now in front line perfectly works drones and our asymmetrical equipments. But in Lithuania, we are investing in tanks, armored vehicles, and our heavy weaponry. And it's totally different strategy comparing what happens in real war. And I don't know where is logic in this strategy, but the situation is.
And that's a great topic. I want to talk with you as well. So you mentioned that you do work with some of the Lithuanian organizations. That's how you put it. So do you mean NGOs, non-governmental players, activists, or do you work with formal like ministries and governmental agencies on channeling your experience of the war and your lessons learned?
We have such organization, rifle unit, and mostly I work with this organization today because it's not a governmental defense organization, and it's mostly based on volunteers.
So basically people who do have arms.
Yeah. And they are very open. They understand what is happening in Ukraine now, and they openly say, we don't know, go fight the Russians in front of them. We wanna reach them from bigger distance, and dronization, it's one of the ways to reach the enemy from the far away. Yeah, and you can imagine what can happen if Russians can reach us from bigger distance and we not.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what kind of heavy weaponry we have. If you can fight against enemy with shells from the tank from a distance of 8 kilometers, but enemy can you reach from 40 or 30 kilometers, it's don't work.
Exactly. So what's your cooperation looks like, how it is built, your cooperation with this association? So I do understand that you are channeling this kind of key lessons learned. From what I understand is that drones are very important, but how you're like, are you doing something in this regard, like making drones, buying them?
We have some projects where then we are this organization are preparing, for example, in our army, Lithuanian army. I mean, I don't know reason, but they don't want to make special drones units. You know, in Ukraine we have even army now. Madar will be. Now he is commander of this UAV's army in Ukrainians. So in Lithuania we don't have even special troops. We have drone teams in usual units, and I think
part of
it's
the units.
in part of the units, and I don't think it's right way. And
to build it.
And this rifle unit, we now decided to have battalions of special drone units, and we are working in similar project with these organizations, and it goes very well.
So basically you are training people, yeah?
Yeah, sometimes I have also training sessions and working on documentation also, because nothing happened in Lithuania. Nothing happened if you don't have documents. Sometimes documents follows. But in Lithuania,
it doesn't work this way.
It's not working this way. You should first prepare documents, and after documents goes action.
Okay. As far as I've read about you, you also was a drone pilot in Ukraine, yeah?
Yeah, FPVs.
So you also kind of have this experience, you want to channel that to Lithuanians. What's, are there many people interested in that? I mean, among civilians?
Yeah, in Lithuania, people are very interested about this, but the problem is that there are no policy how to learn people. There are no infrastructure and so on and so on, because all money goes to other things. And you know that we did so foolish thing that we allocated 2 billions for tanks. It's about amount of 1 year defense spendings, 50 tanks. So it's who is fighting in Ukraine, they understand that that's a crazy decision.
Yeah, from what I hear, like it's easier for a government to spend, just to buy 50 large vehicles, and you don't have to do this vendor procedures, complicated things.
For them it's difficult with this UAVs, UGVs, and so on, because there are no people who can understand how it works, why needed such equipment, and so on and so on. With tank or armored vehicles, it's simple. It costs a lot. It's simple to buy it. Of course, there are lines to buy it, because first you should pay, and 10 years wait.
Production, are you trying to advocate this, not only to the rifles organization, but also to the government?
I'm trying, but who I am. So it's I'm active now in social media. I have support from people, but
I mean, it's a slow process, anyways. Have you used fiber optic or other advanced drone system, and what innovations do you think will shape the next stage of the war?
Then I left frontline. Fiber optics not was
wasn't
usage.
Used in large scale.
But I'm talking now with my friends, and they say that it's not game changer. It's just additional possibility when we are talking about fiber optics. But there are other technologies like drone swarms. And so it can be a game changer, because how to say, in the future will works technologies when you could have not so many people, but more technologies involved. Not so many operators could work with many drones, and because I think the biggest problem in Ukraine and of course in the other armies is personnel. It's because experienced pilots, it's not enough, and then one pilot can work with not with one drone. Now we have situation that one pilot, one drone, and it's not effective. One pilot and 1,000 drones, it could be a game changer.
So have you been using this or being a part of this drone swarms like initiatives, any kind of, have you used that yourself, or is it just a future?
Now it's future, but there are technologies like automatic targeting. I guess you hear about it. It's 2 stages of automatic targeting. When you are locking a target before 1 kilometer or 50 meters, it's not full targeting, and our stage is full targeting when you just in the beginning just start fly the full targeting. It's it works now. Not the path targeting, automated targeting, and I think future way is exactly this. Yeah.
Are you in touch with, I don't know, volunteers and activists of other Baltic countries like Latvia, Estonia? You mentioned the Finns. Are you in touch with them? So maybe like share the lessons learned from Ukraine?
Yeah, we are cooperating closely because we are small countries, Baltic states, so we are cooperating, and especially Estonians are working hard in this modernization. So, yeah.
Do you think Estonians are in front of Lithuania?
Always.
Really?
Always.
In terms of implementation of those initiatives?
I'm critical about this because I think that Estonians always they are in forward when we are talking about economy and military as well. And the reason maybe is that they are in close cooperation with Finns, maybe. But there is a question. But definitely well learning from them.
Okay. Do they have more people to fight compared to Lithuanians?
I don't know real situation, but I heard that they are prepared better compared with us. And when we're talking about such things like defense line, maybe you heard about this project. There are in Lithuania also initiatives, and Estonians are doing it maybe a year ago started. Also, when we are talking about ammunition, Estonians also have projects by acquiring a lot of ammunition in Lithuania. We think about it. But,
from what I hear, they do have this like network of support to the defense startups, helping companies to register in Estonia and produce innovative stuff.
I don't know. For example, I can say in Lithuania we're now thinking about Ministry of Regions. In Estonia, they always thinking about, let's say, ministry of like in Ukraine, you have a ministry of electronic
digital transformation.
Digital, and the Estonians they say the same. They are thinking about digitalization. In Lithuania, we are not.
Okay, so you are saying Lithuanians are old-fashioned in this region.
Okay. Exactly. It's what I think. It's my opinion. What I see from the inside.
Okay. In one of your interviews, you've said that the only way to end the war is to defeat Russia. Do you still believe the military victory is possible? Has you changed over time?
Yeah, of course. I definitely believe that it's possible. And how said a good friend of mine, Yuri Butusov, that we just have to kill 45,000 Russians per month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we will stop them. 45. Now it's estimated that Russians have losses about 40,000 per month. And they are hiring about 40,000 new recruits per month. So we need destroy about 45 and they will stop, I think.
Okay, that's interesting. We've touched upon this a little bit, but do you personally believe in NATO security guarantees, or should smaller member states prepare for more self-reliance?
Good question. I would believe, but reality is you see situation with the United States, you see situation with European members from the South countries. Then Spain said that our problems in Eastern Europe, not our problems. We have totally different problems. And you see disagreement with budgets allocated to defense. We are talking about 5%. Italy, Spain, talking about 2%, even Germany. So I think most real and effective way could be organized defense by cooperation countries like Poland, Baltic states, and Scandinavia. If we would have military agreement that if something happened with one of these countries and all countries automatically would be in war, it would be totally different. Yeah, I think if you compare budgets and economies of these countries and military possibilities and Russia, it would be, I think, enough for first time, for first years of fighting.
Are you counting Germany in?
I'm skeptical about Germans, not about country, but you know, last 50 years policy, military policy in Germany after Second World War was, how to say it? I can't find right word about it, but it's total demilitarization of a nation. And when you are talking with Germans, mostly they are not psychologically prepared to fight against Russia. So
Yeah, it
I'm
seems so.
I'm skeptical, very skeptical.
At least they are talking about this like on political level, which is already good.
It's everything is okay with Poles. Everything is okay with Scandinavians, especially with Finns, Lithuanians, and Baltic states. They don't have other ways. It's a fight for surviving.
Yeah,
And
it's because of the geographical location, but also because it's much smaller countries compared to
other
Russia.
countries, of course, UK, but UK are far away.
Far
It's
away.
island, so
Well, they do can help.
UK they can, but when we starting talk about the possibilities, military possibilities, active units, and so on and so on, situation is not so good. So strongest army today in Europe, it's strange, but strongest armies in Poland and Finland. So.
And Ukraine, hopefully.
And of course, Ukraine too, in first way.
And we touch a little bit upon this, but what do Western narratives or assumptions about this war do you think are inaccurate or even harmful? You mentioned a little bit about this southern countries that saying it's not our problem, because we are too far away. Do you see something else that should be changed?
I won't believe, but we are talking 2 years and we are talking too much but doing nothing. And especially when we return to talking about Germans, biggest country in the European Union, strongest country, and now you heard, I think, about Taurus. One day they say we will give you Taurus, second day
but the latest
we
they
will
won't.
not, and everywhere the same, and we're just talking and doing nothing.
Yeah, I agree. That's also my perception, because from what I see now, we do have a lot of those discussions, and speeches that politicians make, but I don't quite understand whether it translates into something actual on the ground, like units trained or like trainings on drones being presented within military units, something like that, and the production, obviously a very important thing, because you can't start producing when you are invaded already. Well, that's what Ukraine did, but it's not probably the best practice. What message would you like to share with fellow Europeans as someone who has seen the war up close?
Most important to understand, if we will do nothing today, tomorrow we will be in very, very big trouble. We will pay hundreds and hundreds more than we could pay today. And not only economically, not only talking about money, but about lives of people. And Ukraine now is fighting for all Europe. And Russians have bigger ambitions than Europeans think and believe. And we will pay more if we will not take right measures now.
Yeah, right. And like we were talking about politicians, like some people who are interested in or aligned with what is happening. But what's your message to fellow Lithuanians? Yeah, what can, like, an ordinary person living in Lithuania have nothing to do with war? But you can't say so about Lithuanians, obviously, because Lithuanians are crowdfunding amazingly for Ukraine, like millions and millions of euros. So you can say they're standing behind, but what can they practically do themselves, to be prepared?
So, very important thing is culture of militarization. And during Soviet times, like I mentioned about Germany, that was totally demilitarization of civil society. In Lithuania also, we have such saying that and stick can shoot, you should be away from the guns. And, then I joined, I want to compare with Ukraine. I could compare with Israel, with Finland, but I want to compare with Ukraine. In Ukraine, then I joined my unit. Mostly guys came with, in the beginning of full-scale war, they came and joined unit with their own guns. And they all know how to use it. And in Lithuania, maybe it's come from the politicians also. People mostly afraid guns because it's bad, something can happen, and so on and so on. We have to be militarized country because we are living in such a situation, geopolitical situation, that everybody has to know how to use guns, and we have to join. Doesn't matter what kind of organization, to learn how to use it, how to organize defense, and so on and so on. And again, we should learn from Ukraine situation. Then in the city, you can remember Kiev, and guns was given people with jeans in the street. It's not good way. You should have guns at home and not in the time then it happens.
Yeah, exactly. And also drones. Yeah,
and drones.
We should probably also
and to know how
learn
to use
how
it.
to use them.
Yeah.
But I mean, Lithuania kind of a little bit ahead, I think, of everyone else. You do have even these kids clubs on how to construct drones. You do have that, so.
Yeah. It's now it's happening, and but initiatives comes mostly from the society, and it's. I don't think government could do more in this way.
Yeah, let's leave it as is on this message. Thank you, Arūnas, for being with us, and thank you for your service.
Thank you for having me.